Hello peeps, Jedi Cadet here, bringing you another Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle. This time we are against AbsolNight from Twitter. I'll leave a link to his page down below. As usual, we tweeted out for a battle, and he kindly replied, offering to be our opponent. So here we are. I brought this battle the Aegislash, Flygon, Steelix, Roserade, Carbink, and Houndoom. He brought Luxray, Absol, who is his mascot, Floatzel, Mushana, Steelix, and the Chatot, who is actually the second Chatot I've battled in as many days. I actually battled one on my episode 13 of Pokemon Wars, so if you haven't checked that out, definitely go over and give that a look. So, without further ado, let's start the battle rolling. It was a very good battle. I really liked his team. It's great to see unusual teams rather than people running the same Pokemon again and again and again and again and again. So yeah, it's nice to see people change it up. So he opened up with the Shatter, which I predicted, and brought out my Aegislash. I went for the first turn Autonomized, thinking I could get some speed up and set up on this thing, but he went for the first turn Taunt and completely stopped me in my tracks. Then he went for the Thief, which I thought he was going to steal my Witted Policy, but then I remembered that it's a Dark Attack, and then the Witted Policy kicked in anyway. So it's good to know that if somebody tries to steal your Witness Policy with a super effective hit, that it will activate before they steal it. Otherwise that could have been really bad. So I got the +2 Iron Head off on that Shatters and took it down. Then he brings out Absol, and rather than staying in an Absol, because I couldn't use my King Shield because I'd been taunted, I switched into Carbink, who should be able to take pretty much anything from this Absol. He Mega Evolves, and then goes for the Night Slash, I think he went for? Yeah, the Night Slash, which really doesn't do much of anything to Carbink. So I take this opportunity to get some leftovers recovery back, meaning that the Night Slash pretty much counted for all of about 9 hit points worth of damage. So I decided to get the screens up. He switches out into his Floatzel. So I got the Reflect up first turn because Absol is physical, so I wanted to get that physical defense up. And then the turn after, I got the Light Screen up. He went for the Waterfall, meaning that I knew his... Well, I was pretty safe in the knowledge that the Floatzel was a physical Floatzel from there on, which is always handy to know when you're running screens on a Pokemon, because you know which one is more important to the players. So I'm now sitting behind the Light Screen and the Reflect, but rather than sitting, because I don't think Carbon could do much to the Floatzel other than Toxic Hit, but rather than playing a stall game, I decided to bring in Roserade a bit front, because from behind the Reflect I was pretty certain I could take a hit. It actually took it a lot better than I thought, because Roserade's got very little defense, and honestly I expected it to take us down to half, even with Reflect. I was hoping I was faster and wanted to go for the Giga Drain on that thing to get rid of it, but he actually switched out. So I got the Giga Drain off on the Absol instead, and it did way more damage than I thought it would, because I thought Mega Absol would start flying. So I was surprised when it did as much damage as it did. Rather than staying in and taking a hit, I decided to switch out back into Carbink. Pretty much wall anything from Absol, unless it's running some crazy move. He goes for the Psycho Shift, so it turned out it was a pretty good decision to switch out. Then my Reflect wore up, he got a Swords Dance up. I decided to go for another Reflect because I really didn't want any physical hits from this thing, because it's +2 now. I thought I might be able to take a +2 hit, get the Reflect up for safety. Then I thought, rather than go for the Light Screen, which he would probably predict me to do, I'll go for a Moonblast to take it out. Obviously he predicted that Light Screen to come off, because it ran out the turn before. So I went for the Moonblast, and managed to take down his now +4 Mega Absol, which was such a relief, because that thing could have tore through my team like wet tissue paper. So it was really good to see the back of that thing. So I I still wasn't really fearing special movement, but with the Luxray I didn't know whether it'd be a special or physical, because Luxray can be kind of be both. So I get the light screen up, he goes for the protect, which was fine by me, because I wanted to get that screen up, and him running it using protect gave me the perfect chance to do it. Then he gets poisoned from the toxic orb, which I found curious because, as far as I'm aware, Luxray doesn't get poison heal or anything to benefit from being poisoned unless it gets quick feed. I think the ability is where if you're poisoned you get faster. You get faster with a state salmon. I'm not sure. So I brought in my Steelix to take any electric attack I think I wanted to go for it. Went for the wild charge. Steelix absorbed it. Then I go for the earthquake. He switches into Steelix, but even then it still does half damage, even with Steelix's crazy defense. But rather than go for the speed tie and risk being hit before I got another one up, I decided to switch into my Flygon, because I knew if he went for another earthquake, he'd be able to do some pretty decent damage to my Steelix. So Flygon and its levitate, I can take the earthquake, and I was pretty certain that Flygon was faster than Steelix, meaning I could take it in the next turn with my own earthquake. It does live just about and gets a gyro ball off, which does a very good amount of damage actually. So I decided to just finish this thing off with another earthquake. So I'll go for that second earthquake, take down his Steelix, which is always good, meaning that he'd only got Luxray, Floatzel and Mishana left. Now he switches into his Mishana, who's really tanky. Mishana's actually a really bulky Pokemon. It's one of my favourite Pokemon from Gen 5. He went for the Psyshock, but I switched into Houndoom. Howlgirl is back on the field. Peeps. The Psyshock does nothing. We Mega Evolve, and I thought I'll get a nasty plot off while this thing's sitting on the field, because I don't see it having anything other than psychic attacks. Unfortunately, it did go for the T-Wave though, which could have been a problem because we really don't want to be paralysed, especially with that Floatzel still out there with that waterfall, because that Floatzel is actually pretty strong, and I'm not sure even Mega Houndoom can take a waterfall to the face. We went for the Dark Pulse anyway. He brings Luxray in and it one-shots him, plus 2 Dark Pulse, takes down Luxray, no problems. Then he brings out Destruction the Floatzel, and rather than sit in and hope I could live a waterfall, I decided to switch back into my Carving to get my Reflect back up, because as long as I'm sitting behind that Reflect, I'm pretty certain I can take at least one hit from this Floatzel. He goes for the waterfall, gets a super effective hit which does a lot more damage without that Reflect, and he flinches us as well, which is really not good. I went for the Reflect again on the off chance I could live, but he goes for the waterfall and he does take down my Carving, which was really unfortunate, meaning I've got no screens anymore. So without that protection, I was a little bit worried about how this Floatzel was going to treat the rest of my team. It is slowly whittling itself down with Life Orb Recall. I wasn't sure whether, I still wasn't sure if Roserade could outspeed Floatzel, but I thought I'd be better off to risk it and try. But he switches out into Mishana. I went for the Aromatherapy here to get rid of the Thunderblade, to get rid of the paralysis on my Houndoom. And rather than taking a Psyshock from Mishana, I switched back into Houndoom. No, I didn't, sorry, I switched into Steelix. Because Steelix would be immune to the Thunder Wave. He brings in his Floatzel. Now, I was thinking maybe with Steelix's crazy defense, I could take a Waterfall, but he gets a super effective critical, which I really think mattered. I really think that mattered so much. Because I'm pretty certain, even with a super effective hit, Steelix should have been able to take at least one hit. So I bring out my Mega Houndoom, who I was fairly confident could outspeed. Go with the Dark Pulse, it does outspeed, the HP did actually drop quite slow there. I don't know if you saw it, and I was worried that it was going to survive, but it didn't. The Dark Pulse took it down. Then he brings out Mashana, his final Pokemon. I go for the Dark Pulse, cause the Mashana to flinch. At this point, I don't think it made a lot of difference, so I'm not sure what else I could have done. I know it's got the Side Shock and the Thunder Wave, but I don't know what else I could have done. Rested, maybe. Go for another Dark Pulse, and that ended the game. So, yeah, that was a really, really fun battle. Great battle there, AbsolNight. So, yeah, really enjoyed that. Great battle. Go check him out on Twitter. He's a cool guy. He likes his, as I say, he likes Absol, and he plays a lot of, I think he mentioned on Twitter that he plays a lot of UU tier matches. So if any of you peeps like UU tier matches, go hit him up on Twitter, because I'm sure he'd be more than happy to take you up on that battle invite. But as always, leave a like if you liked this video. I hope you did. Leave a comment in the comment section below, leave your feedback, because I always love to hear from you peeps. Subscribe to my channel, as I do bring at least one video every day. Thank you for all your support. Stay cool peeps, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. For your support. Stay cool peeps, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.